A little thought piece here. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Right Opinion, the home of a twat with too much free time. And I enjoy trading. I recently got into the habit of day trading, where you put some money in, let it go somewhere, and take it out, with the premise that hopefully you've made a bit of dollar here and there. One of my favourites for day trading are the cryptocurrencies. Their volatility allows you to make money fairly easily. Day trading for me is a nice pastime. However, as I learned recently when I fell asleep with money in the game, it's best to do it when you have a bit more free time. At the forefront of cryptocurrencies is Bitcoin, one that I've actually avoided. Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency to appear. The basic premise of cryptocurrencies is that they're not owned by a single government, and it doesn't experience taxation or inflation by effect. It is handled by an online blockchain, which, to sum up, is where a record of these transactions are stored. One of the very unique traits of cryptocurrency is that it's very difficult to commit fraud, as the online blockchain means that the cryptocurrency can be tied down to a specific consumer, so that consumer does truly own the Bitcoin they have. Now, there are many more specific details that if I were to include would probably confuse you more than it has already confused me. Now, as I said, at the center of cryptocurrencies is Bitcoin, which has caused a lot of excitement recently due to its inflating value, with many investors funding it with the faith that it will continue to increase. To put it into perspective, whereas 6 years ago, one Bitcoin would have approximately been worth $1, it is at the time of writing this worth over $18,000. Now, maybe a bit less when this video is released because it is that changeable, but it clearly demonstrates how much this has exploded in the last few years. If you look at the graph, you'll notice that it has increased at an unbelievably exponential rate. But as the old adage goes, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And with this, many are beginning to wonder whether it's a bubble waiting to burst. One of those people was the Wolf on Wall Street himself, Jordan Belfort, whose autobiographical Fall from Grace was the source material for the Martin Scorsese feature film. In an interview with CNN, he claimed that the cryptocurrency was quote-unquote a big scam and projected the value of Bitcoin would plummet greatly. Belfort outlines a very interesting theory that is more relevant to cryptocurrency than almost any other market, the hype victim theory. Now, that can happen in any industry where something is hyped up and therefore its value increases. However, eventually there is this revelation of the illusion and it collapses. However, with Bitcoin and any other currency, the hype is a snowball effect because people buy into it and therefore encourage the notion that it's increasing in value. This is particularly noticeable when you look at the buyer-seller ratio. If that ratio was applied to many other stocks, they would be shooting through the roof, which is why cryptocurrencies do have their moments of crashing very severely, because something conducting a sell of a large volume could trigger the misconception that the whole currency is collapsing. That's less prominent with Bitcoin, as it's a slightly more stable crypto than its competitors, but there's no doubt that a lot of Bitcoin's current success is a result of its own hype. What Belfort is suggesting is that there are a select few who are looking to make a lot of money, publicizing and emphasizing success through various techniques, which in effect builds up hype and increases investment. That investment leads to further hype, media articles about how Bitcoin is skyrocketing, for example, at which point you enter a hype investment cycle, until someone breaks that cycle and Bitcoin's true value is seen for what it is. Is Belfort a trustworthy source though? Maybe. As noted in the article, he has his fair experience with shares and scams. Now obviously there are differences between Belfort's example and Bitcoin, but Belfort is right that there are a lot of self-centered people who probably see this as an opportunity to make a lot of money. With that said, how much influence they're having and whether that influence is altering Bitcoin's value at all is another question, and one that we can't necessarily answer. Essentially, it's a no until the answer's yes. Now, we're not comparing Bitcoin to Belfort beyond conceptual knowledge. In that instance, the scams landed him in prison. If Bitcoin crashed tomorrow, would anyone who manipulated it by publicizing it go to prison? Unlikely. You can't really depict people's motivations for overhyping something, and this isn't an example of defrauding on Belfort's scale. It's not accountable to one person. Bitcoin doesn't work like that. What does this mean? If Bitcoin is a scam whose stocks have been manipulated by profit-driven individuals, it will only be realized too late. There will be losers. There always are. We also cannot tell when the manipulation started and how badly the effect will truly be due to that. We've reached a very unique situation where Bitcoin is being valued more as an investment product than what it originally represented. That clouds the judgment of its true value and therefore makes it incredibly difficult to decipher how such a claim like Belfort's would be addressed. What lies in the future for Bitcoin then? We can be certain that it will peak, but its response after is what will decide its future of many, many investors. I'd like to thank Michael Vole and Lord Siago for proofreading my script because I didn't want to get any of the details wrong, and I want to thank them for verifying it. And I would love to hear what your thoughts are as well. Are there any investors out there? I would be more than delighted to hear your input below. Until then, I'm The Right Opinion, and I'll see you in the next one.